我们的这个暖身赛哈，即将要开打啦，所以我们可以开始准备啊，8场的进行到12陷阱。那在这个暖身赛之后，即将进入的马将会是我们今天上的第14扣篮。那扣篮在这次赛的下场的组别呢，是我们的 SS2，然后以及我们的这个 CCI 相同的这个 SS3。那在这个组别之后，接下来的话，就是我们今天的重头戏第一节了，亚洲北的Supermoto的做实物。好，在我们的这个现在开始，我们中国的现在下场好，上去挥动。
11 corners, isn't it? Yeah. That's counted as a turn. Good morning and welcome to the third round of the FIM Asia Supermoto Championships here from CHANGHUA in Taiwan, the west coast of this beautiful island. I'm Mark Brax. Joining me in commentary again for the second time in history is Barry Russell. Good morning, Baz. How are you?
Good morning, Braxy.
It's going to be a great day as the bike's out on track now for their warm-up session before we get into qualifying and then our 2 heats during the day. We've already had a bit of action yesterday, haven't we, mate? We've had 2 1-hour practice sessions for the lads to get out there and have a look at this great layout. We've got, well, 10, 11 or 12 corners on this 1.2 kilometre layout. We've got a purpose-built go-kart track with a purpose-built dirt section of around 400 metres, give or take a few metres, and all the lads are loving it at the moment.
Yeah, they really are enjoying it, and it's been easy for the Supermoto circus to come here because already set up. The riders to a man are loving the track, and it's in 3 distinct sections, isn't it, Braxy? You've got this first section from the start, the technical section, then straight into the dirt for 400 metres, as you said, and then it's on a fast, open, stop and go section through to the finish line 12 corners later.
Yeah, 3 straights basically linked together with a couple of 3 hairpins, and a bit of a challenge, but they've all the boys, I don't think anyone has said anything derogatory about this track. They all like it. It's fast, it's tight, it's technical, and plus the dirt section, because it's been down for a long time, it's really holding up to the rigours of what these bikes are putting it through with all the bike. Most of the bikes Husky 450s here this weekend. As we have a look now from that first section there, from turn 1 up to turn 2, and talking to Lewis Cornish this morning, our series leader, who's won 4 from 4 races in the 2 legs so far, that if you go in too shallow into this first turn, it really plays havoc with you for the next couple of corners.
Yeah, that's right. It's important to get that first turn right, otherwise you're going to be struggling all the way through to the entry to the dirt section. So we watch Japanese rider just gone round the berm then. That's Naoto Takayama. Takes that very tricky jump. There's a very steep takeoff to that jump. That's
yeah, it's rather deceiving, that one, and that's caught a few of them out.
You can't really see it on the TV, but it's a really steep takeoff. If you hit it too fast, you're in danger of doing a backflip. So you'll see the top riders will be coming off that as flat as possible, and as you saw Naoto then, he even tilted the bike down.
Yeah, Taka-san there, he's, well, I think he's one of the dark horses actually for this round. He was 4th fastest yesterday, but all within about a second of our main man, Lewis Cornish, who was the fastest man on track yesterday. He got round in a 67.4, but Taka-san there, Naoto from Japan, he was around 1.8 seconds behind him, but out there just doing lap after lap after lap. In that second session yesterday afternoon, out of an hour's session, he was out for 58 minutes. As you said, he was like the kid that wouldn't come out of the swimming pool.
I know, you can see the happiness of his riding now, can't you?
Yeah, he's just out there and really doing laps. And I think that Lewis has got to be right on his game. And graphic example there of the hang time they're getting coming off that jump. Yesterday, if they were hitting it the wrong way, they just seemed to be suspended in mid-air, but now they've got a bit more of a, not taking so fast a bite out of the cherry, so to speak, so they get a bit of momentum, because they're actually losing their momentum coming off that jump. Now back onto the bitumen circuit proper, and you know, I keep looking at this guy and thinking, look at the way he's just throwing it from side to side, backing it into that final turn, coming onto the pit straight here, which is remarkably long for the a pit straight section. Yeah,
Takayama competes occasionally in the Taiwanese Supermoto Championship, we believe, and I think you can see that from the way he's riding.
And just saying, this is the first international motorcycle event of any discipline held on this on the island of Taiwan, and must say that it's pretty impressive at the moment. The locals have been really great to embrace it. They've been preparing this track rather well, and I suppose they didn't have to do much preparation, mate, because it's already there.
That's right, and there's enthusiastic people been walking through the paddock since early this morning. Everybody involved with the event, the people selling the t-shirts and food, everybody's really excited to be here, as indeed we are.
Yep, another one of life's experiences, the first time that we've ever been to this island. And, well, if you got the opportunity to come here, why not?
Absolutely right. We're looking now, I think that's Trakan Tangtong on screen, is it? No, that's
Khairi Zakaria, the local Malaysian guy who is the teammate for Gabit Saleh, but Muhammad Habibullah. But unfortunately, the KTM rider is not here this weekend after suffering some pretty intense injuries in one of the motards. But Zakaria there will be flying the flag well for the Malaysians this weekend.
Yeah, he's been looking confident and talking confidently. He's not a loud kind of guy, but he feels confident. He's ridden well in both the first 2 rounds, and he's enjoying himself here.
Well, we think that Lewis Cornish is going to have a pretty much of a stranglehold on this day as he's had in the previous 2 rounds. But as we know, just one little slip up, and these guys will be ready to pounce. That's Zakaria, also Takayama, and the main man that I think is a bit of a danger is Trakan Tangtong, the Thai champion from 2015 in this series. So you'd think that Lewis Cornish might walk away with it, but I don't think it's going to be the case during the course of these 20-minute plus 2-minute moto, 20-minute plus 2-minute laps, pardon me.
Yeah, the start's going to be really crucial, Braxy, isn't it?
And also getting through the slower riders as the time goes on, when the back markers start to come into play.
Yeah.
And it might only take him to be balked once, which allow his opposition to close right down on him and give him a bit of a hurry up as well.
Yeah, we saw as we went through round 2 that Zakaria and Trakan got much closer to him in the second moto, and the gap that Lewis has had this time in free practice, and now looking at the warm-up session, he's just stretched it to a second there, but they have been riding within half a second of his pace. So I think they're starting to believe that they can run with him and perhaps take advantage of any mistakes and perhaps knock him off the top step of the podium this time.
And I was looking at Trakan there, I think it was, going through turn 1, backing it in, just throwing the bike sideways. And one thing they've got to be careful of there too, Baz, is coming down that pit straight as they back it in sideways, because they're right off on the edge of the track. If they go too early and get it sideways, there's a chance that they're going to hit the tyres on the protective tyre wall there, and that'll throw them really offline. So it's a bit of it looks like they're just a big charge down the pit straight and then throw it sideways into the corner. But you've got to get there and get a very late apex into the corner. And what Lewis Cornish was also saying this morning was that because of the protective barriers on the side of the track, you can't actually see the apex of the corner. You're running blind into that, and you've got to be very committed to where you actually start turning the bike in to take advantage of that critical section, a straight liner from turns 1 to 2, and then that tight hairpin that brings them back down towards the dirt section. Yeah,
for sure. If you get the exit wrong to turn 1, then you're going to be struggling through the rest of that first sector, all the way through to the entrance to the dirt section.
And Naoto from Japan up to his old tricks. Oh no, that's Takashi Sasaki there, his fellow countryman.
Yeah, Takashi Sasaki performed very well in the first 2 rounds. He's been quiet by his standards so far, but he ran very well in Indonesia, as you'll recall. I think he's got something up his sleeve for this round. He's not showing us at the moment. As Lewis Cornish goes through.
Might be a few samurai tactics coming out later in the day.
Yeah, no, he's a regular in this championship. He loves Supermoto racing, and I'm sure he'll be intending to go a lot faster than we've seen so far.
Now I can see that Lewis Cornish has already changed his lines coming onto the dirt section on the Kenny Motorsport Techno Racing Husqvarna. First time he's been on this bike this weekend, but just shows you the class of the guy, that no matter what he's on, he just wrings its neck and gets to the top of the timesheets pretty quickly. It's not as if he's unexperienced or untalented, coming third in the AMA Supermoto Championship this year.
That's right, and he did the French Championship too this year, so he's got bags of experience. He's only 25 years old now, but bags of experience. He's been racing Supermoto for 10 years now. This is his 10th season in Supermoto. He's never raced anything else. I think he does some training on motocross tracks.
And also a lot of BMX and mountain bike riding as well.
Yeah.
As he's just getting the bike set up, about to ready to do a practice start as we come down to the halfway point of this 30-minute warm-up session for the third round of the FIM Asia Supermoto Championship here at CHANGHUA in Taiwan.
Yeah, these bikes come as standard with traction control, don't they? So there should be no excuses really for a bad launch off the line.
He's just doing a couple of them at the moment. And I noticed from yesterday that the layout of the grid has been changed. Originally that number 1 spot was on the inside of the circuit, which would be a very narrow entryway into turn number 1. And I reckon Mr. Cornish might have had a word to him, because we were talking about it yesterday. I pointed out to him, I said, this is a bit weird. Wouldn't you want the wide line to get in there? And he said, exactly right. And I was out there this morning, and the grid has changed.
Yeah,
so
they painted them on, haven't they?
Yeah.
It looks a bit makeshift, but it's the right, definitely the right configuration to have the pole position at the outside of the track as you head towards the first turn.
Now he's just got to be wary of the fact that someone from the inside gets a bullet of a start and charges down and balks him, and that's what his his main competitors will be trying to do. The main one being Kyrie Zakaria in the third position yesterday. Tricon Tantong was in second fastest. If the situation stays the same as the Super Chrono, and they get a good front row start, they'll be aiming to get a big drive off there and try and really balk Lewis as he gets into the first turn and try and halt his charge to trying to take a perfect score of 6 from 6 starts after his 2 race wins in Thailand and his 2 race wins in Indonesia.
Yeah, we're looking now at Tricon Tantong, the young tide rider. He looks like he's on a quick lap at the moment. He came around that first section with looking full of intent, and
he's starting to look like he wants to triple that set of whoops there.
I was just going to say the same thing. Lewis was looking at it yesterday saying, maybe I'll triple that.
Maybe, yeah, and you didn't sound it with too much confidence though, did he?
No.
But as they've got used to the track, we know what these riders like. They like just pushing that envelope a little bit to better their times and better their laps.
Well, that's
and
right.
as they get the confidence up, then they'll be able to throw it down the track a bit harder. Not as in, but on the wheels and on the dirt bits. And some graphic shots here of the attitude of these bikes as they get them sideways, and that's what's good about having these go-kart tracks, where they everything stays the same. The bitumen's pretty grippy. Yeah. Hopefully it'll stay the same. There's a slight bit of chance of a bit of rain today, which might alter their attitude towards the track.
Yeah, I felt a few little spots, but the sky's looking reasonably bright at the moment. And just looking at Tricon, we haven't seen the time come up for that last quick lap that he did, but he'll be very well aware as an exponent of Supercross in particular that any advantage he can gain if he does decide to. That's a long jump over that tricky second section part of the dirt section. He'll be looking to take advantage anywhere he can, because he's got half a second to a second. He knows he needs to make up on the championship leader, the Englishman Lewis Cornish.
And just letting people know that might already be watching on the FIM Asia Supermoto Facebook page, tell your friends where you can do it if they can't get contact you for you the rest of the day as you're watching the action here from CHANGHUA in Taiwan. Also the YouTube channel for the FIM Asia Supermoto Championship, which you can look, that'll be on there after the event. Also the 23.tv, as in 20 with the word, 3 with the numeral, .tv, And also in a week's time, I've got the highlights package on Fox Sports Asia. So plenty of exposure for this up-and-coming series that's gaining stature at each round.
And of course, it's 23.tv that have worked with the promoter, Asia Supersports Group, to take this the coverage of this championship up a fair few notches this season with this fantastic HD coverage that you can stream live
anywhere around the world. And I know we got a lot of hits from all around the place last time, and we expect to do the same this year. As like we said, this series is gaining in stature. Only the third year, the second real year that's been going. For last year, it expanded its grasp for taking Australia. This year, we've come to a different part of Indonesia. Thailand was on the calendar, and also, like we said, the first international motorcycle event of any discipline here in Taiwan.
Yeah, and the next round will be in Singapore, and then the final round in Malaysia. And we know that people, some of the top AMA Supermoto riders, have got their eyes on this series as well. It's really punching above its weight in terms of the attention it's grabbing, compared to some of the much longer established Supermoto championships. And
we've got coming to the last couple of rounds, we've also got one of the leading guys from the Supermoto World Championship with the Swedish man coming along as well. So we'll keep that name under our hat for the time being. But we're going to have a few more guys coming, and I reckon once they get a taste of what's in store, pardon me, we're at another go-kart track in Singapore in a few weeks' time, December the 10th. With the final round December the 16th in Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, we just watched Trakan Tang Tong. He's making a stop with less than 10 minutes on the clock now for this warm-up session. He's half a second behind Lewis Cornish so far in this session, and number 32 in third place. That's Kairi Zakaria. He's half a second behind Trakan.
Yeah, so they'll probably head off and have a bit of a break, I reckon, Baz. They've got just under 10 minutes of this warm-up session to go. Then they've got a half-hour break before they come out for their 30-minute qualifying session. And then they have another little bit of a break before they come out for the Supermoto Super Chrono, which is for the top 6. Give them a bit of free track, open track time, so they can really put some times down to decide who's going to be taking what position on the front 2 rows of the grid. So probably time to go back and have a bit of a drink of water, go back and talk to their team members, and have a bit of a chat about how the bike's set up. Maybe they want to change the gearing and see what it is, maybe change the tyre compound or whatever, because this track, as we've said with the riders talking to us, that can be pretty abrasive on the black bits.
Yeah, it certainly has been. And we've seen the top 4 in this warm-up session, which seems to be petering out before the checkered flag. They probably found out what they need to know before qualifying. The first 4 have definitely been experimenting. That's Cornish, Trakan Tang Tong, Kairi Zakaria, and
Mayoto Takeyama.
That's just what I was about to say. But then there's
I thought you might have had a bit of dust in your mouth and getting a bit tongue-tied too, Baz.
And the second group after that starts in the 1-minute 13s. And I think we're going to see 2 or 3 groups battling in throughout the day today in qualifying, and of course in the 2 motos that we've got coming up before the end of this third round.
And not forgetting that we've got a couple of support races for the locals to get out there and strut their stuff too, with the SM2 and SM3, with a variety of machines, mainly 250cc motard bikes that have come across to have a look, and a pretty impressive lineup when we were down there this morning as well. And as we look at the track on our live streaming at the moment, you can see where they're getting on the picks and then throwing the bike sideways to get the maximum angle, lean angle and drive to get out of turn 1 up to turn 2.
Absolutely, the line very clearly marked out now after now 3 sessions of free practice.
So it's 7 minutes left. It doesn't look like there's too much going to be happening on track for the rest of this session. Like we said, probably go back, have a drink of water and refresh the bones and refresh the nerves a bit, settle down, have a bit of a chat to their team members as we look at some of our main sponsors, Bike Nation, Asia Supersports Group, C+, and then there's a couple of others in the wings there that we've been looking after ourselves. KYT Helmets as well being one of them, and also Boxo Tools the locally produced tools, and we've seen them in the paddock here, Baz, and they've a pretty impressive lineup of tools, toolboxes and workbenches as well.
Yeah, very good quality indeed. And of course the other main sponsor that we've got, the series sponsor, is Malaysia Major Events. As we see the checkered flag come out with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. So I think Race Direction have probably gone with the taken the lead from the riders in this case.
Yeah, well, why not give them a bit of a break, and the riders aren't going to come out. Then it means that the support categories can get out there and have a bit of a run as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just repeating, we've just had the morning warm-up. We've got a half-hour break on track for the big boys before they come out for their qualifying session at 11 o'clock local time, which is about 9 hours, 8 hours in front of England. There's a bit of track maintenance goes on, maybe
maybe a bit of gantry maintenance. Perhaps they're looking at the
transponder
start lights. Yeah,
transponder wire, or maybe like you said, the start lights.
Yeah. Anyway, I'd rather be the man holding the ladder than the man standing at the top.
He looks like he's got it all set at the moment. As we come down to our last, the qualifying, the warm-up session has been brought to a close. But there's plenty of time, as we said before, we're looking at the maintenance. 11 o'clock till 11:30 for the Supermoto qualifying session. And then we get into the Super Chrono, which is due to start straight away. They don't get much of a break, do they, Baz? They'll be straight back on track for their half-an-hour Super Chrono for the top 6. And then we'll have the lunch break before we get under the way with official proceedings at 1 o'clock with the opening ceremony. And then our first FIM Asia Supermoto leg of round number 3 due to start at 1:40 for 20 minutes plus 2 laps. And then our final race of the day for the Supermoto boys will be at around about 3:50 till about 4:10. Again, 20 minutes plus 2 laps before our prize giving ceremony later on this afternoon here at the third round of the FIM Asia Supermoto Championship at CHANGHUA in Taiwan.
Yeah, it's definitely a busy day to pack everything, qualifying and the 2 motos into one day, but the riders are ready for it. They've been preparing for it. They had free practice yesterday to orientate themselves. But in terms of the value that this is offering spectators that are coming to the circuit, and also the people at home, they know they can get a few cups of tea or coffee or a few beers in, depending on which time zone you're in, and have a full day of entertainment. You see some of the early spectators coming in now, taking a look around.
Yeah, a good bit of a little trade alley there and a food alley just around the corner.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see those guys do some good business today, as this is the first round of any international championship that's been held in Taiwan. So we're very happy to be part of that, and it's obviously raising a fair amount of local interest.
And again, right in the heart of suburbia, as we take the event and the motorsport to the fans. And plenty of officials on board. We've got the medical and marshals as well that have been here since early hours this morning getting ready for this big day.
Yeah, he's doing a bit of shadow flag waving there.
Yeah, well, this is a big event for them too. Obviously, they've had their national championships, but to be the first international motorcycle event in Taiwan, it is great for them to come out.
Yeah, the excitement and anticipation from the locals that are involved in this event is palpable, as you can see. They just want to get on with the show. You see, we've got 10 different nationalities, 10 different nations represented here today. See the flags fluttering in the wind. We had a very stiff breeze yesterday, heading up the home straight. The wind's still blowing in the same direction, but
yeah, we might take a breath here as we're getting ready. The riders need a bit of a break. We might need a bit of a break to wax the lyrical cords with a bit of water. So we'll be back very shortly when we get down for qualifying for the third round of the FIM Asia Supermoto Championships. We'll be back with you soon for more commentary.
目前这个场地内的持续在同一段目前在进行场地的一个安全的这个车辆的排除。那目前看起来在车辆上及人员上呢都没有一些大碍。那相信呢，等一下呢，马上的接着这个 SS3的这个超拐呢会重新开始进行，车友们呢招待一下。在这个大会的广播，马上会再进行接下来的这个方法的部分。 这个呢，主路段在4月18号买这个赛。